Hello and welcome to another Subscriber Saturday. My name is Chris Ryan, and if you haven't seen this video series before, very simply, you send me videos of your golf swing and I will run through a couple of them in this video and hopefully help you with your game. So we've got another 3 swings today, all slightly different, doing different things, probably experiencing different ball flights out on the golf course, but we're going to give them some advice, talk through their golf swings, and hopefully in doing that, you will pick up some information which might relate to your golf game. And if not, it might just help you generally understand the golf swing a little bit better, and that will hopefully leave you in a better place to play some better golf. So the first swing was from Arden, and he sent me this via Instagram. So he asked me to have a look at his swing and give him some ideas on what he might want to work on going forward. So you can see Arden on the screen there. Let me just put a couple of little reference points, just so we can use these as we move through the swing. Now, I would really start to talk to Arden about something called swing direction, which is sort of, you can think about it, it's kind of where your swing is aimed. And if you think about your golf swing moving around your body in effectively a big circle, it's the sort of angle of that circle and where that circle is pointing, if you like. I did a video relatively recently of something along the lines of where is your golf swing aimed. I will link that up here somewhere, so hopefully there's a link up there now. So you go and take a look at that, because that will apply quite well to this golf swing. So if we just play this through first of all before we slow it down. Okay, and as you can see, I needed to readjust where my lines were. So let's get this back to the start. Okay, let's find the start of Arden's golf swing, which is just in there. I'm going to get rid of all those lines because they were not in the right place, and we'll put them back on again. So you're going to see that as Arden moves the golf club away, you can see how the club moves quite a long way in behind him quite early, and then as a result at the top you can see that the club head gets a little bit more above his head. So the club shaft, we would term, is maybe a little bit across the line, pointing out to the right of his target. And on the way down, we can see that the club head gets quite blurry, but you can see where that club head is, it's in here. And again, that club head is probably swinging a little bit too far out to the right. It doesn't look like it's excessive, I would say that. It looks like he has some really good moves in his golf swing, but I would suggest that his swing is aimed a little bit more at the right-hand side than what would be ideal. You couple that with the fact that he's probably hitting down with his irons, that actually forces the swing, or the path I should say, more out to the right. And I would foresee Arden, certainly playing with a right to left ball flight, probably hitting pushes and hooks. So really for Arden, what we'd be looking at doing is trying to probably neutralise his golf swing, probably give him the ability to hit straighter shots, because it's going to bring his dispersion a little bit, and it's going to help him when he progresses with his game to be able to hit the ball on a left to right flight. So certainly we will be looking at the shape of this backswing, because I would like to see the club a little bit less across the line. And to get it a little bit less across the line, I would like to see it a little bit less kind of in behind him early on here. For me, his right arm isn't working quite right. His left arm works a little bit too much across his chest. I would like to see that club a little bit more out in front of him. So pretty good one to start with. Something that many of you will struggle with, whipping the club a little bit inside, getting it across the line at the top. If Arden were to recover this and make a perfect downswing, then maybe we wouldn't address it. But I think from looking at the video, I would expect to see his club path a little bit out to the right. And so it's something we would like to address. Right, let's pull in the second swing. So this swing was sent in by Larry Shaw. Now this isn't Larry, this is Larry's son. So he said in his email that this was a video of his son. And we can see from this in a minute when I play it, this looks like a very accomplished golfer. I don't know how old he is, I can't really tell from the video, but I'm guessing he's probably some sort of teenager, that's my guess. So it looks like he's got some great ability. Obviously a bit of snow on the ground at the moment, so I'm sure he hasn't been on the course too much when this video was sent, but hopefully that snow is gone now. So let's go ahead and just play this through first. Okay, and you can see there, very athletic golf swing. Looks like he creates a lot of speed, a lot of power. I can imagine he hits the ball on a nice flight. So lots of good things in there. Now, what we will see through this golf swing, if I just get this back to the start, and this would be where I would really start. And certainly with a golfer at this age, we would look at the club head, club face. So you're going to see as he moves through this golf swing, and we're going to get him more to the top because it's a little bit easier for us to see at the top. We can see, if I try and bring that down a little bit, okay, now we're at the top of the image there, but you can see how the club face, if I just put an arrow there, gets a little bit strong. It points a little bit more up towards the sky. Now, if we look at his lead wrist position, I would say that that lead wrist position is fairly neutral, it's fairly flat. So if we get a fairly flat lead wrist and a club face which appears to point too much to the sky, that would suggest that the hands are placed on the club in a slightly strong position. So for him there, that would be as he looks down, his hands are rotated too much to his right. Now, what that really does, it puts that club face, as I say, in that strong position, and that would suggest that the club face is going to point left at impact. I say suggest because it doesn't mean it will, it's just a greater chance of it doing that. What that means is this golfer now has to make some compensations on the way down to ensure that the club doesn't point too far left, or the fact that we actually move the path more out to the right to allow that to be kind of functional. So what we see on the downswing here is a golfer who delivers the golf club with a pretty high handle. Okay, so high handle is a very, very good way to stop the club pointing left. You can see that in an attempt to do that, he loses some of the body angles. You can see how his upper body is a little bit closed off to the target. He hasn't opened up enough. So this golfer here is really trying to fight the left shot. Now, there are great examples of golfers who play fantastic golf from closed positions. We're not saying that you can't, but what we would say for this golfer is I would really like to see him hit some shots, see what his dispersion's like, because I would imagine that this golfer could be inconsistent because he's got something in there which is making that ball go left, and he's trying to fight against that with some things that are trying to stop it going left. So there's that trade-off. Under pressure, or repeatability might be a little bit of an issue. Now, as I say, because that lead wrist was in a fairly neutral position at the top, I would tend to look at how the grip or how the hands are placed on. You can see from this video here, it's very difficult for me to see how the hands are placed on with like that kind of face on camera and probably a bit more of a close-up on the hands, but there's a good chance that that grip is a little bit strong. So the difficulty with this golfer is if you give him that neutral grip or a more neutral grip, what's going to happen is that club face is going to get to the top in a more neutral position. That looks good, but he's still going to have these downswing tendencies which are kind of stopping that ball going left. So if we neutralize this grip, this ball's going to go off the planet right. Okay, it's going to go high, it's going to go right, it's going to be horrible. And very often for these golfers, that's the sort of sticking point, because as soon as they see that, you know, the ball flight's going high, it's going right, it's going weak, they just revert back to what they did. So this would be a case of really starting to neutralize the grip, get the club face in position, make this golfer understand that that ball will now go to the right, and then the things that we do in the downswing by getting more rotated, lowering the handle, will bring that ball more back towards the target. So a bit of a tricky one, not a quick fix that one, but I certainly think we could get this golfer a lot more neutral and hitting a lot more consistent golf shots out on the golf course. Right, let's bring our last swing in for today, and this one is from, let me just get this golfer's name. This was, I believe, yeah, so this is Lance. So Lance sent me an email, Lance Davis, and his golf swing you can see on the screen there. Now I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger so we can just see a little bit more about what Lance is doing here. Okay, a little bit too big. Okay, so the first thing I would do is, to me, Lance looks as if he stood a little bit too close to the golf ball. I wouldn't dive straight in there and change it. It would depend on maybe how he delivers the club, some of his strike patterns, some of his balance issues, because there is no kind of one distance to standards guidelines. But for me, this golfer looks like he stood a little bit close. To me, his arms look as if they're hanging a little bit inward. So I would potentially like to do a little bit of work on distance to the ball posture. Now, as we go through this golf swing, and I'm just going to put a couple of reference points here. Okay, I'm just going to play this through first so you can see. Okay, good looking golf swing. Okay, I think you all agree there. That looks like a pretty nice movement. Again, looks like he's fairly athletic. Looks like he creates a little bit of speed. So there's some nice things happening in this golf swing. So as we go back to the start, and we take this through, okay, you can see that as he moves away, there's some, again, nice movements happening there. You can see a little bit of change in knee flex. You can see shoulders turning at a good angle. And I think he gets into the top in a very, very nice position. So again, there's some really, really good things here. I like the fact that his knees have changed. I like the fact that his hips are turning on this angle. I think he's got his shoulders on a good angle. I like his lead arm position. His club face is good. There's a lot to like here, and certainly this golfer can do a lot of good things from this position. Now, as we start down, okay, you can see here this is where I would now start to look and say, well, there's a couple of things that maybe we'd like to look at. For me, what he's actually got here is his hands are actually a little bit too much this way, so too much behind him. And what that's done is actually put the golf club into a slightly steeper position. Not excessive, this is not the end of the world, but something we'd maybe look at trying to change. And then as we go through, to me, he gets a little bit active with this right foot, right knee kicks in, but I think a very good golf swing. So for me with this golf, I certainly wouldn't be looking at changing loads. I think there's some really nice moves in here. I would potentially look at trying to just tighten up the top of the golf swing. It looks as if the club travels a little bit far. Again, I'd like to see this from face on. Be interested to see how his upper body moves. But I would really try and look at getting this golfer a little further from the golf ball at setup, and feeling like he has a little bit more room for his arms to move a little bit more out in front of him on the way down, and then just trying to control that trail knee on the way through, that right knee. But this is a golf swing which I think is very good. Lots of things that are good here. I just think for me that club gets a little bit too steep in transition because of the way he moves his hands from the top. So I would like to look at tidying up a little bit at the top, feeling like he moves his hands a little bit differently, trying to work on his right heel, his right knee. But I say these would be little tiny changes that we'd make to this golfer, because I think on the whole, that is a very good golf swing. And I think that golfer could play some very good golf already from the golf swing that he's got there. So 3 golf swings, all slightly different. Again, not always going to be applicable to you, but the idea of this video series is just to kind of get you thinking maybe a little differently about the golf swing. You know, maybe looking at how I look at a golf swing. Obviously, I'm speculating with a lot of these golfers. In an ideal world, I'd have that in my bay. I'd be videoing them from the angles that I know I video from. I'd be using the TrackMan, the body track, all these kind of K-vests, all these kind of things to get the right information. With the videos I get sent through, it's just me speculating, having a kind of guess, if you like, but they're educated guesses. I kind of know what a golf swing looks like. I know what general things will look like through a swing, so hopefully they're pretty accurate. But we're just trying to give these golfers a few ideas to explore going forwards. My advice to all of them would be to seek out a pro or a coach who you trust, who you know is going to be invested in your game. Get some lessons, get yourself a course of lessons, get a plan as to how you're going to improve going forwards. But these are just some of the ideas that you might want to explore with that coach and how you might want to develop your game. So, as always, if you would like your swing analysed on this channel, on this video series, email me at swings@chrisryangolf.com or send it to me over on Instagram. My handle there is @ChrisRyanGolf. So send me your swings, whether that's driver, irons, chips, putts, whatever it may be. The more we get in, the more varied we're going to keep this video series, the more help we're going to get across to you, and hopefully the more educated you're going to get about the general golf swing and in turn your golf swing. So thank you very much for watching. All the usual stuff, as always, is down below. There's a comments box down there, there's a like button, and there is also a link to subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. There's 4 videos now going up each and every week, which is a Monday, a Wednesday, a Friday, and this video series on a Saturday. So make sure you subscribe, won't miss any of the new content. And really, we're here just to help you play some better golf, enjoy the game a little bit more, and have some more fun out on the golf course. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you next week. Thanks again for watching.